soon after I started quilting, I was introduced to the rotary cutter, and it dramatically changed my entire world. It's changed the quilting industry for almost every quilter that is out there today. Westalee Design, when they designed the ruler foot, they dramatically have changed that way quilters are quilting. Long armers have had rulers for a long time, but our domestic quilters were at a disadvantage. We've never had those amazing products that could advance our skills. I have so many people say that I can't free motion, that I don't know how to do it, that I'm no good at it. Ruler work is not free motion, it's guided motion. I already know where I'm going, and all I have to focus on is just keeping the foot attached to the ruler until I'm at the end of the line. So it's really a big advancement, helping people to make their quilts as beautiful as they want and really changing the level of skill that our domestic quilters are going to see.
Hi everybody, Pam Varner here. I want to welcome you all to First Friday with Pam. So I'm hoping you can hear me, and we are going to get started in just a minute here. I'll give a few people a chance to jump on. We're going to play with the snowflakes from the Elevate box today. I'm kind of super excited about doing that, and I am here alone. Hopefully my camera is not going to shut down, but if it does, I'll see it maybe a little bit delayed. So just kind of bear with me, and I'll turn it back on as soon as I can. So anyway, I can see you if you're on YouTube. I'll have to check the comments later if you're on Facebook, but we're going to get started. And what I've got here is a few lines on just a demo fabric here. I'm using a 90 needle today. Normally I use an 80, but I have a bunch of extra 90 needles, so I thought I would use that. I've got 40 weight thread in my top needle, and I am using a wash away thread in my bobbin, which is a 50 weight thread that I've got going on right now. I like to do that for demos so that I always use that when I practice. So I can wash my fabric and the thread comes out, and it's really, really nice. So anyway, we're going to do some edge-to-edge quilting, things that you can do for an all-over design. You could also use them in borders or sashing, and I hope that I give you some ideas. And then I've got one design that you can do in your setting triangles if you'd like. So we're going to start, I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start with number 10. This is snowflake number 10, and it has kind of an oval on this side, and then it has this leaf on the other side. So we're going to start with some basic uses of this template, where we're going to pull our thread. I've drawn lines. Now this would be the center of my border or my sashing. When I did this, I figured it out of where that would be, and so that's where I'm going to put my lines. I take a couple of stitches to start. I usually do 2 or 3 stitches. That's just me. I'm going to put my template this way. Now on this template, which if you have it, you probably already know this, there are lines here which show you the center. And then there's a line way here on the other side that also shows you where center is. So that's how you line up your template, is on these lines. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line up this line here on the edge, and I'm going to line this line up here. Now, I'm going to go all the way across. This is just a really basic design. We're going to go all the way across. So we're going to have to double stitch some places. So the best way I have found with these templates, and watch out for this little ski jump here, you don't want to go off that, is once you get into the channel, go back up, do your double stitching here, because you have to end up on the far left side. And then come back down over here on our left, do this side, and then again double stitch. Instead of trying to go all the way around and then double stitch all the way around, this is the best way to do that when you're traveling from left to right or right to left. So I'd move my template this way, and we're just going to continue with that particular design. So you do want to alternate where you're stitching, your double stitching. So over here, I double stitched on what I would call the top, and here I double stitched on the bottom. So I want to remember to do that again so that I don't have a bunch of double stitching close together down here. It tricks the eye that way. So here we go. Double stitch on the top. Careful on the ski jump. Go into the channel a little bit. And come back up. The reason you want to go into the channel a little bit is to define that. If you went here and floated across, it's going to look funny when you go back down because you would have some extra stitches right in here, and we don't want that. Okay, and then on the oval, we're going to double stitch on the bottom. And we're going to go back down. We'll do one more so you can kind of get a feel for what it looks like. As you can tell, my marking is not perfect over here today. Oops, and I don't think I'm on the center. I'm not. Oops. I was talking too much. I'm trying to keep my third eye on my camera. If this happened in real life, what I would do is I would readjust my template and then I would continue so that I ended up back on the line. And then I probably would stop here in the middle. Take a couple of locking stitches, pull my threads. I'm not going to pull my threads today. Kind of takes a lot of time away from what we're doing here. So, oops, I covered up my wastebasket. That's not smart. I don't want threads all over the floor, that's for sure. So this is just basic, very basic. Using the template, just going from one end to the other. Okay, so let's spruce it up a little bit. Let's pull on the line. Are these two sizes? There are not two sizes of the number 10 snowflake. There's only one. And I don't know about the discount. You can try deal day, whatever that is, deal day 20. I haven't been told, and I forgot to ask. So you could call So Steady directly. That's what I would do. And then they'll be able to tell you. So, all right. Again, we're going to do this side of the template. I want to end up here on the line. So what I'm going to do is there's a line right next to the slot right here. And that's the line I'm going to stop on. This arrow here is from another project. But I might use it for something. I don't know. We'll see. I usually leave things on my templates because you never know, those markings might be useful to me the next time I use that template. Careful going around these corners. I take it slow so that I don't fly off of it again like my ski jump. Okay, I'm going to stop here on this line. I'm going to turn my template. I'm going to try and put that line on the baseline. If it's not perfect, I'm okay. I just don't want it at an angle like that. I want it to be straight up and down. So there we go. And I'm going to go up here. Now I would have to sketch this out to mark the center, but I'm going to show you something else you can do. If you wanted, you could do one this way, but I don't want to today. I want to go this direction. So I'm going to put this line here, and this time I want to double stitch on the top. So if I were going to do this design, which I didn't get right back on the center line, I would measure the distance between this point here and this point down here. And then that would be the center of my, this would be the center of my border. Then I would measure how far it was to this line to mark my line inside my border or my sashing. Now, another thing that you can do, you can continue on doing it the way that we just did it. An alternative way to do that is when I get to my line, instead of going above the line, we're going to go below. And then we're going to continue this way. Put that back on the line. Oh, I want my double stitching to be on the top. This happens often, not paying 100% attention to my stitching because I'm trying to pay attention to you guys. So I want my double stitching to be on the top instead of going around. Oh, I did it right. Never mind. Maybe I didn't, I don't know. But then the next one, you would do it on the top. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and then we'll go to something different. I got off center. And go up. So the new Elevate box is coming out in a couple weeks. Let's see if we can get back to the line on this one this time. think I'm on the line. Nope. I'm gonna stitch off. There we go. And put that up there. And then stitch the one on the top. Now, I would, if I was doing edge to edge quilting, and this was the edge of my quilt, say right here, I would come up here, I would flip my template, I would have fabric over here, right? Because I would go off a couple inches with my batting and my backing, but I don't have that. So I'm going to get out my little ruler buddy here that helps me. And I would go like this. Maybe go off into the edge. And go right off my quilt. And that's how I'd end it. So let's see. Am I going to the retreat? As it is right now, it's yes. But there are some things I have to work out. So anyway, there's that. And I would go off there. Now, when I came this way, what I would do is I would make sure that I started in the same spot so that the thing went up here. I don't know, maybe you can't see that. I would want this motif to be mirrored here and go up. So you could also, like I said, do an entire design in here to go off that way. And that's also how you would do a spin effects from edge to edge. So, all right. Let's try the other side of the template. And this would go really, really fast. Now, these threads at the beginning, I would bury them. Or if it was a real quilt, I would maybe stitch a line off my quilt to here and then maybe start like kind of off the quilt so that, you know, it's never going to be perfect, right? You're never going to, unless you measure everything and you go, okay, I have a 40-inch quilt and my design is 2 inches. I can get 20 of them, but fabric is organic and it shrinks up. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect. So I just kind of go off. I'm using this very first line right here. So next to my arrow is on one line, and right next to my arrow, there's another line, and I'm using that one. So, and again, we have to double stitch because that's the only way we can get from one side to the other. And you could very easily butt these up back to back. Ooh, that was close. There is going to be a little bit of a line in between them. And I forgot where I was double stitching. For those of you that have been and seen me do edge to edge quilting, you're probably sick of the double stitching guidelines, but I'm going to go over them. I'm not going to go too much further because I think you kind of get this gist of this one. Okay, this one I should have double stitched on the bottom and I didn't. So I'm going to come back to the line and then I'm going to go back. And I got off my line, so I'm going to move, make sure this template is, so this one's going to be a little bit crooked, but you're not going to be able to tell. And I moved my template so I'm back on the line. And then this is double stitched on the top. And then this one is double stitched on the bottom. It's just a couple stitches of a line. Or you can make it really pointy, whatever you're happy with. There's the line. And go up that way. So I'm not going to go all the way across because I think you kind of got it figured out. The reason I'm not using my machine to cut the threads is because I don't like to do that when I'm using dissolvable thread. I don't know why. Whenever I use specialty threads, I don't use my thread cutter. Like metallics, I don't use my thread cutter for metallics and things like that. So here's this design. And I'm just checking for questions. Oh, my gloves. I didn't cut the fingers off. They came this way. These are actually compression gloves that have rubber on them. So when I have my hand on my template, they don't slip. And some gloves, if they don't have grippy on them, when you use them with templates, your hands can slide across the template. So let's say you're stitching along and then all of a sudden your hand slips off. So I like to make sure that any gloves that I use have grippy on the palms and the fingers. And these came with the fingers cut off, which is perfect because then I can use my fingernails to pull threads and things. I don't have to take the gloves off when I'm quilting. So, okay. I'm like, where's my other template? That was scary. Okay, we're going to put 10 away for a little bit and we're going to get out number 9. So number 9 has got a little bit of a different point on it. There's the point on 9. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can go around this point and you will get a rounded like arrow. Or you can stitch to the line and then go back up. Stitching to the line and going back up means you're floating off the template a little bit, and then you're floating till you get back to the template. It slows you down when you're doing edge-to-edge quilting. I'm not a fan of slowing down. I stitch slow enough as it is. I don't need anything to make me any slower. So what I do is I just go off of it and say to myself, well, that's what we're going to do. Oh, careful, we just dropped the template. We have to find the template before we move the chair. We don't want to roll over the template. Oh man, that was really close. Whew, we almost broke a template. Yay, we're okay. All right. Boy, that was scary. Never want to break a template. I have done that though. Put my knee lift back, and we're back in business. All right, let's get this here. Let's get this out of the way. Here we go. We're just going to do the arrow, and we're going to start in the center. Again, this template also has the markings for the center. So that goes on the center line, that goes on the center line. I think I took my stitches already, but we're going to take them again. Go into the channel, come back out. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't go into the channel. Oops. Nobody likes to hear oops when you're quilting. Now, you have some options here. You can do a little bit of a line and then move the template back, you know, like this way to make it shorter, or you can just go with the length of the template. I tend to go with the length of the template because I think it's faster. I don't have to think as much. So if I want something quick and easy, I'm going to go like this. That was on the top. This has got to be on the bottom. And what I mean by that is the double stitching. Now, you may not want to have these so close together, but again, whatever's fastest is what I'm going to do. And that, I went way off the template. These demos are harder than they look. Because I was thinking and talking at the same time and then trying to stitch at the same time. That's a lot. Okay. Here we go. One more, just so you kind of get an idea of what it looks like. This, we're going to try this again. See if we can not go off the template. Well, let's just go off the, oh, that should have been on the top. Oh well. Now I don't remember if I explained that, so I will explain it again for anybody that is new to edge quilting or border quilting or anything like that. Oops, I think I'm not on batting there. I'm going to show you a couple of things with this template that just the way that I hold it, I want to show you because you may not be able to see this. So this template has a straight edge on it. which is really nice. When you're doing any kind of quilting, you can use this as a straight. So you could separate this if you wanted to by the same amount of distance, like between here and this one, by using this straightaway if you wanted an area that was longer than the channel. But it's a nice little hook to put your finger on, right, when you're quilting. So I'm not going to engage the needle, but so I'm quilting, but behind it, I'm hitting my finger on the foot, and the foot could come down and pinch my finger. I don't want to do that. So what I do when I'm here and I have my finger on it, when I come behind the foot, I lift my finger up and kind of move it just a little bit and then put it right back down. So just wanted to kind of share that with you. So, and now we have some fun things to do with this template. Okay, so you can do just the diamond if you want to. It works just like the oval, kind of the squared oval on the other template, the one that we used earlier. These two are very similar. The other thing you can do with these templates is add this circle onto it. So I'm going to do that with this diamond. I'm going to do a diamond and then a circle and then a diamond and a circle. So now this is going to take longer because, you know what, let's go down here. Let's pull down here. I'm checking for comments and I'm not seeing any, so I think that's good. Either you guys don't have any questions. Okay. Oops, I didn't want to go into there. I wanted to come into here. Okay, we're going to do a diamond and then a little bit of a line. So I'm going to start, I don't want to come back that far. I'm going to start right where it goes into the channel. Let's see how much of a line we get. Not much. Now I'm going to come out. The good news is when you come out and go back in, you're on the same side of the template, right? It's not like the template is this way and you have to mess around with it. And then we're just going to put a little circle. So this little tiny circle also has markings on it. I'm using my template upside down. That's not a good thing. It has a line here and here and over here and then the opening. So those are 4 lines that help you keep it straight. And now I'm going to have to go like this, and I'm going to change something up on you guys. Same thing, I have to go around and a half. Come out. I'm going to go back in and use the diamond this way. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I don't want to have to flip my template around. I thought I was doing it smart the other way, but which is nice. It'll give us a little point to put our circle on. That'll be fun. Come back in. Now, would I do this all the way across a quilt? I don't think so. So the circle is double stitched on the bottom and the diamond is double stitched on the top. And I told you guys I would explain that to you. So don't let me forget. I'm trying to use these lines on the template. Now, it's kind of hard to see if I move the light, and that makes it easier. And now the light is on top of my head, so I have to move that a little bit too. We're not going to go much farther on this because I think you get the gist of it. And now we're going to do one more circle. So this is how you can use the circle. One of the many ways you could use the circle. And there. I think this in sashing would look really, really cute. And if you measure it, it's not that big, it's an inch. So this would fit nicely in a 2-inch sashing or a 1.5-inch sashing. I personally like my quilting to go about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the seam in a sashing. I don't like it to go right up to the top. Again, fabric is organic, and if I didn't perfectly piece my sashing, then it may not be an inch all the way around. It may be a 1/16 of an inch off. So that way I know that I'm gonna get it right. So there's that design. Now, I was going to explain to you, make sure I got that out of there, why you do one side, top, bottom, left, right, when you're working on designs that are going from edge to edge. Boy, that was a very complicated way to say that. So we're going to look at this one here, this design right here. So let me see if you can, I'm not even sure you guys can see that okay. There, I think you can see that. Okay, so this is double stitched on the bottom, this on the top, this on the bottom, this on the top, this on the bottom, this on the top. If everything was double stitched on the top, this side of the design would look heavy and this side of the design would look lighter. So you want to alternate where you do your double stitching, because then when the eye looks at it, it doesn't notice it as much. So that's the number one reason. So that's how we do that. All right, let's get back to fun with this template. Because I was playing with this the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. All right, the arrow side of, I don't know what this is called. I forget what that's called on an arrow. The feather, does anybody know? Is anybody out here a, what do you call that kind of person? An archery person? I'm sure it's not archery person, but okay. All right. So we are starting here. we are going to stitch however far you want to go down that way. And now my threads are in the way. And my threads are still in the way because I want to stitch up to the top here. Okay, I'm going to turn the template. I'm just trying to get my threads underneath the template. I'm going to turn my template. Now, I'm trying to straighten this. This doesn't look right to me. I'm going to measure it. What I want is I want my stitches to meet over here. So when I come over here, my 1/4 inch, oh, it's really close. Let's see what happens. And they met. Now, I could chance coming across here again. Let's see, I want to go a couple stitches beyond where the point meets. I want the edge of my foot to be where the point is. The only reason that matters is because it makes it easier for me to make it look symmetrical. I need some starting point. So I'm going to start with this bump on the template right at the needle. And we're going to go, let's see, the last was double stitched on the bottom, so this is going to be double stitched on the top. Oops, I went too far. So now that's triple stitched. Turn this around, line it up. This should be a 1/4 inch away. We're going to find out because when I'm doing my edge to edge quilting, I don't like to have to stop all the time. So I'm just going to go, you know what, if it's not perfect, I'm going to live with it. And remember, I was going to have my foot right where that point is, which is right there. Let's trim these off. Put those in the trash. Okay. Nope, I'm going this way. Right there. And then this goes, the bump goes right where the needle is. Whatever works for you. You know, it's like when you drive home and you're like, okay, I'm the 3rd mailbox from the stop sign, or, you know, whatever gets you home. Okay, now we're going to go this way. Went right off the template. Because I did that, I would do one of two things. I would come back down on this side, or I would travel and do the right way. And what I would do is when I got over here, I would take a couple of locking stitches, come back down this way, take a couple of locking stitches. Then when I'm done, I can come back and take a seam ripper and take those stitches out, and it's not going to unravel. So that's one way to fix a boo-boo. And I'm going to go down there. Actually, when I get done with this, I'm going to show you how you do that. Okay, this is double stitched on the top now. Here we go. This is going to be our last one. And then we're going to go like this. There's nowhere to line this up over here. The reason I put this underneath on the far left-hand side is because your template, when it's off of the quilt completely like this, if you push it here, do you see how that goes up over here? Number one, you don't have anything to grip down here, especially if your stable tape is off of the fabric. But if you push it here, it's going to come up. You run the risk of the foot going underneath your template. You don't want to do that. So that's why I like to have a little guy here. We call him a buddy, a ruler buddy. And I made him in one of the classes on the, I did it again. It's because I'm talking and I'm not centered. So let me center. And we're going to do the same thing we did before. We're going to go up here. Hopefully we're going to go on top of that. We're going to take a couple of locking stitches. We're going to come down. And we're going to take a couple of locking stitches here. Okay. So this is at the end of my quilt. And I have two places where I have a boo-boo. We always talk about boo-boos, but maybe we don't always fix them. So let's fix this one real quick. I'm just going to take my seam ripper and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to take out these stitches. Probably need a, there we go. Then when I get to the edge there, I'm going to leave that. And I get to the edge here, I'm going to leave that. I would come in with my snips, snip that off, snip that off. You can't even see. You can't even see. And because I double stitched here and double stitched down there, it locked in these stitches, so they're not going to come undone. So let's do it again. Start in the middle. And then you can kind of pull the threads. You always have to think, how am I going to fix this if I want to fix it? Sometimes you don't even want to fix it. Like if this was background, quilting, I don't know that I would fix it. Especially if it was like, say, a cream thread on a cream background. I can't get my, careful you don't pull out the other stitches. There we go. One more. And that is how you fix it. So now nobody even knows that I made that mistake. And now you know how to fix it if it happens to you. So there's that. And then I have another really fun design that I want to show you. It involves the same template, but we are going to, again, pull on the center line. You know, I'm not 100% accurate on judging a quarter of an inch, but 99% of the time I can sink a needle where I want it to be. That's my superpower. Okay. We are going to start here, but instead of stopping in the corner, we're going to stop in the middle. So that's could be a little challenging. Getting my threads out of here seems to be very challenging because they keep getting stuck on the stable tape. I don't want them to rip off my stable tape. Okay. Whew. All right. We are going to go. Oh, I didn't take stitches there. We're going to go around 1.5 times. Inside designs, you always have to go around 1.5 times. And we're going to stop right here on the line. We're going to flip the template. Why would you do that, Pam? Because it looks really cool when you do it. Okay. And now we're going to go double stitch on the bottom. Stopping where my edge of my foot is right on the point of the design. And then I flip it this way, and I'm going to put it, same thing I did before, right on where the groove is, I guess, is what, or the hump. This one, I went off a little bit. I wouldn't even worry about it. I'm exposing all of my faults today. So I'm starting where this hump is on the template. Let's see if we can do this one perfect. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try not to talk so much while I'm stitching and see if I can kind of keep it together here. I'd like to know what people do when they quilt to stay calm. Like, do you listen to music? Do you listen to audiobooks or podcasts? Or kind of music do you play if you play music? I know some people watch television, and I find that to be too distracting for me. I don't think my brain could do that. Thank you. I really like this design too. I think it's really fun. And not something that you immediately see when you see this template. I think that's why it's so important to play with the templates. Like on paper, or like I said, when I'm playing around or I'm demoing, I like to use water-soluble thread. So I've serged the edges. You could hem them if you wanted to, but I've serged the edges of my fabric. And then I just throw it in a mesh bag in my washing machine. And then all the thread, the top thread turns into a ball and the bottom thread disappears. And let's just do one more because it's so much fun. And then I can reuse my sandwich to play and do other things. Okay, there's my little buddy. I always try to come up with something that maybe you haven't seen yet. So there's that. Same template, 2 different looks. So there's that. Now, there is one more thing that you got in your Elevate box, if you got the Elevate box, and that is, before I misname it, let me tell you what it's called. It's called the Line Matrix Ruler. So what you can do with it is you put it down, and these are an inch apart. So you can either do an inch apart lines. You can also use the outside of the template. That's also an inch. Okay, so you have an inch, or you could do every other one and do 2 inches. And you have markings that are 2 inches apart. Now you can turn it this way. There's a 45-degree angle on it. So you can, let me do it this way. You can do a grid this way if you want to. So there's all different ways you can do it. What I have done is, and your charcoal marker fits right in the slots. It's like the same slots that's on a crosshair square. So what I've done is I have put in markings as if this were a setting triangle. Now, I like to do quilts on point. I think they're really make it interesting if you do it that way. But I'm always stuck with what am I going to do in the setting or the corner triangles. Like I can do part of a wreath, I could do part of a spinifex, I could do, something like that. But this allows me to do really fun edge to edge stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend like this triangle line is a seam line. So going all the way this way and all the way this way is a seam. Okay. And we're going to pull on the seam. And does this one fit? Yeah. And these are 1-inch markings. We're going to pull in the seam right in the ditch. Now, this template has a line right here that goes through the center of this motif here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that line on my vertical lines. And this line here that's at the tip that I used for my edge to edge, I'm going to put on what would be the horizontal line. I'm going to stitch. And I'm going to travel to the seam allowance. I'm going to stitch down 2 lines. Well, let's stitch down 1 line first, and I'll show you what that looks like. Now, I don't want to put one right here because it's going to cross into the one above it. So I want to do the other lines. So I'm going to put a diamond and stack them every other line. So, and I want it to be there. And I'm going to top stitch all of these, and I'm going to tell you why, or do double stitching on the top on all of them. Once I get this row done, I'll explain why. I don't want to do one on this line. I want to do it on this line. So again, I'm centering it. I'm going to stitch to the ditch, and then I'm going to come down. I'm going to go back this way. Again, do every other one. Now, the reason that I'm double stitching on the top on all of these is because I don't want double stitching right next to each other. Skip this one, go to this one. So I'm stitching where I didn't stitch on the row before. Okay, let's see. That goes there. And stitch to the ditch, come down the ditch. And we're going to go across. Make sure we're on the right page here. I don't know that I could watch TV, but maybe I could listen to a quilting show, and then every so often look up at it. I just don't have a way to watch TV in my studio unless I did it like on a tablet. Let's see. Now on this template, I'm having a challenge because there's no line right here on this side. There's just one on this side. And when I go left to right, I actually want to sew with the template going this direction. I want to sew into the diamond and not, so I'm eyeballing it. I'm trying to line up the one behind the needle back here where my right finger is bouncing up and down. But if it's not perfect, like I didn't get this lined up on the center line at all. When those lines are taken away, the reference lines, you're never going to notice that. And I will, within the next 24 hours, I'll take pictures of this. So this goes here. I can see questions if anybody has any questions. I can stop every so often and look up and see if there's questions. This would work in a corner triangle as well. Oops, like what am I doing? There I am. And if you weren't talking while you were doing this, you could go a lot faster. This is a 1-inch grid, yes. But you could do 2 inches, right? You wouldn't have to do 1 inches. I mean, the size of the motif is really perfect for 1 inch. But if you wanted to go down 2 inches, let's see, let's go down 2 inches. I have to go down to here. And let's see what that would look like. We want to stitch on this one. We want to stitch on this one. Okay. So we're going to try and see what this looks like. Oh, I didn't go far enough. Okay, come in. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you guys like this design. And then this one, and I'm off center, so let's get back to center. And this one. If there's something that you would like to see, let me know. This is the last of the designs that I had planned for today. And then this one would be here. So I would just go all the way to the edge. So even if you separated them by 2 inches, it would look fine. I think a setting triangle is small enough that the 1 inch I think would be great. Um, this is a fairly large setting triangle that I've created here. I didn't even measure it. This would be, I just drew it. So let's see what we got. Yeah, this would be like a 12-inch. So this would be like a 12-inch block. So down to here would be, you could start up a little higher. You could do this with an 8-inch block because your 8 inches is right here. But if you came down a little bit, that would be 8 inches. So there is that. I think it looks really pretty. So that's what I got for you guys today. Let me check for comments from Facebook. See if I can find any on there. If you have a question, this is a time to ask me again. Said quilting grid. Okay. My eyes aren't working really well today. Let me see what this says. All right. Thank you for the comments, everybody. I appreciate them. And we will be back next month. And next month is April, which means the new box is going to be out, which means new templates to play with again. So I hope that everybody has a great month and that you see me back here in April. So take care, everybody. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Are you ready to take your quilting to the next level? Whether you're just starting or looking for fresh inspiration, the Elevate Box Club is designed just for you. As one of our club members, you'll receive a quarterly box packed with exclusive tools, patterns, and fabric to bring your projects to life. We host live classes every month, plus recorded lessons available anytime on our Sew Study University. Join us every Thursday at 10 a.m. for live inspiration on YouTube. We have a club for everyone. Choose from our ruler work club, our pattern only club, or the Elevate Box Club. Want it all? We also have a Get It All club, combining ruler work and embroidery collections. Whatever your style and no matter your skill level, the Elevate Box Club is here to help elevate your creativity. We never stop learning together.